Hello everyone, welcome to Everything Arsenal, and this is the latest transfer news. Fabrizio has given us an update on Riccardo Calafiori. The medical is booked for this week. The deal is edging very, very close. We'll be discussing that. And then after that, could the next signing be Mikel Merino? Real Sociedad have already set their price for Mikel Merino. Are Arsenal ready to pay that? Will the player make a decision to join Arsenal instead of Atletico Madrid? We'll find out in this video. Let's go through it. Let's start with Riccardo Calafiori. This is the latest from Fabrizio Romano. Understand Arsenal and Bologna are now preparing all documents for Riccardo Calafiori. Formal steps to follow in order to close the deal in the next hours. Medical tests and contract signing to follow this week. Here we go, coming soon. So it's fair to say this deal is edging very, very close. We've already agreed a deal with Bologna. So the thing that is holding it up for the next couple of days or for the last 2 days, that's the weekend, the Sunday, and today as well. The reason why it hasn't happened is not because of us, it's because of Bologna and Basel. And yesterday we got new information. It's not just Bologna and Basel discussing the sell-on clause. Apparently, Roma are also involved. Have you ever seen anything like this? 4 teams involved in one deal, and it's only one team that's going to get him. Like, not like teams trying to hijack him or sign him. No, teams are just there for sell-on clauses and sell-on fees. So apparently, Basel and Bologna agreed on a 50% sell-on clause because he was originally a Basel player, but he also used to be, he also went through Rome, and apparently Roma also had an agreement with one of those teams, I think with Bologna or someone, for a sell-on fee. So the money that you're paying Bologna, not only Basel want it, there's also Roma that also want a piece of that as well. It's absolutely crazy. Apparently they wanted a legal battle or something like that. Listen, that is up to you. Can you just give us our player and then we'll let you guys do the battle by yourselves and decide how much money you're going to pay each other? But it's absolutely crazy. Like it has turned out to be a very complicated deal, so it's even more exciting to get it done when you get it done this week. It's crazy, man. 3 teams involved: Bologna, Roma, Basel, and Arsenal are waiting for him. We had to agree a fee with Bologna. Bologna had to agree a sell-on clause with Basel, and apparently Roma had to agree with both of them. It's absolutely crazy, but it makes me excited by getting this signing done, and it's looking likely that a medical is booked. I think you're going to get a here we go very soon. I'd not be surprised if he's off to the USA by tomorrow or Wednesday to join up with the team ahead of the Thursday game against Bournemouth. I don't think he's going to feature in the Bournemouth game, but I wouldn't be surprised if he does feature in the Man United game over the weekend. That's not the only news on Riccardo Calafiori. He's definitely going to leave Bologna. Bologna have announced a squad today and is not part of it. Confirmed, Riccardo Calafiori has not been named in Bologna's traveling squad for their pre-season training camp at South Tyrol in the northeast of Italy. So Bologna are going to be playing friendly matches there, and he's not been picked as part of the squad, which means he's definitely leaving and is definitely going to be joining Arsenal. The delay now is over on their side. They're the ones who need to give Arsenal the green light so that we can progress that deal, so that you can go to, I think it's England or USA, one of them, to do the medical, and then you can finally call him an Arsenal player. But yeah, it's turned out to be very complicated. But the fact that he has not been picked for the squad, we already know he already said he wanted to leave. We already know the team is happy to get that money. Yesterday, Fabrizio told us that this is what Calafiori said to the team: please let me fulfill my dream and let me go to Arsenal. I want to go to Arsenal. This was the message by him over the weekend, since Friday all the way to Sunday. As soon as we returned from his holidays, he said, listen, why am I still here? Have you guys not agreed a deal with Arsenal yet? I want to go. I want to join Arsenal. Let me go fulfill my dream. And he's a player who already picked Arsenal a long time ago. We also told yesterday by Sky Sports that the likes of Juventus and Real Madrid came in to try and bid for him. But he said, listen, no, I've already agreed a contract with Arsenal. I've already agreed to join Arsenal's project. That is the only place I'm going. So, yeah, it's basically done. Whatever happens, it's basically done. It's going to be an Arsenal player. And I've always told you guys the last 3 weeks, I've always been confident about this deal happening. I've always said I'm 99% confident it's going to happen. The moment you hear that the player is happy to join us, he's already agreed personal terms with Arsenal, I'm usually never worried about any other teams. Back in the day, we'd agree personal terms with players, players like Juan Mata, players like even Benzema and players like that, we'd agree personal terms, and then the deal never actually ends up happening. With a team hijacks it or he ends up staying at Real Madrid. It's a lot. But these days, the moment you agree personal terms, like Rice cannot say, okay, I decided not to join Arsenal, I'm going to Man City. He didn't. He decided to stick with Arsenal. Havertz decided not to go to Bayern Munich. He stuck with Arsenal. And now Raya was also wanted by Bayern Munich. He decided to come to Arsenal. And now Calafiori, with all those teams wanting him, some top teams, actually, Real Madrid, Juventus, Leverkusen, PSG, Chelsea a top team. You can throw them there as well. Like all those teams wanting him, it's crazy that we are actually going to get him. I think it's going to bring a lot to add a lot to our team. And according to Gazzetta Italia, they're actually saying Riccardo Calafiori's transfer to Arsenal is imminent. Bologna about to close the negotiation. So we heard on Saturday that Bologna want this deal to get done quickly. Was it Saturday or Friday? It was before we agreed the deal with Bologna. They say that they want this deal to be completed quickly so that they can focus on their friendly matches from Monday, which is today. So I'm hoping that they do get it done today, and we do here we go. They give Arsenal the green light, and then it's up to us to conduct the medical and the rest of the details in the deal to get it finalized. So I think we're going to get a here we go very, very soon. I don't know if it's going to be today. I'm hoping it's today so that you can finally finish with this particular story. It's carried over for a couple of weeks now, and a lot of fans have been a bit annoyed and all that, but it's finally going to get done. As you've seen, it was not as easy as we all expected it to be. So that is why a deal like this is not going to happen within one day. Like other things come up. Even if you had agreed a deal 2 weeks ago, Rome would have come in, then maybe other teams would have asked or inquired about him and all that. So it does still take time. So for us to get him for only 45 million euros, and it's only 40 million euros plus 5 million add-ons later, I think that is an absolute great deal. So I think it's almost time to say welcome to Arsenal to Riccardo Calafiori. Super excited about this one. We talked about it in the podcast earlier today with Cozy, all the details about him. I went through how the qualities, which qualities we are most excited about. Make sure to check that one out. But this is not the only signing that we want, obviously. Sorry. This is not the only signing that we want. We need other signings, especially for me. I want a midfielder as a priority and then a striker as well. So, Mikel Merino, could he be our next signing this week? According to reports, he is going to make a decision this week. And according to reports from Ryan Taylor Sport, Real Sociedad resigned to losing Euro 2024 winner Mikel Merino and want 30 million euros for Arsenal midfield target. So the price has been set. They want 30 million euros. Which is around maybe 22 million pounds or something. Either way you look at it, it's still very, very cheap for a midfielder. All the other midfielders that we've been linked to, all the other midfielders that were kind of available. Bruno Guimaraes, 100 million, I think, release clause. Joao Neves, they wanted 100 million at the beginning. I think PSG are going to get him for like 70 something. Douglas Luiz, it was a swap deal. They wanted a couple of players and a bit of money on top of that as well. Basically, all the midfielders that we've been linked to, Zubimendi did not want to come, but 80% of the midfielders we've been linked to, most of them, they wanted a lot of money, or the teams wanted a lot of money. It was very difficult deals to do. So if you're able to get this player who just won the Euros and we saw him coming off the bench and having some really good performances, looking at his stats from last season, he won the most duels out of any player in the top. Is it aerial duels? I think it's aerial duels, and I think it's duels actually in the top 5 European leagues last season. He was number 1 in terms of those duels. So this is a player who knows what he's doing. Technically, he's good as well. He can get into the box and score. He'll basically add, if he plays with Declan Rice there, or even if he replaces Declan Rice and Declan Rice sometimes rests and then Merino plays, or Merino comes on as a sub, like either way, we are going to play it. If you have a midfield of Merino and Declan Rice at the same time, Acha is looking to bully and suffocate the opponents. Like you have Declan Rice winning the interceptions, every single interceptions, making the tackles, and you also have Merino who can win aerial duels and ground duels. You basically suffocate the opponent to the point where they don't have a chance at all. And depending on the kind of game, you can go with the bullying with bullying, and there's 2-3 different ways you can go with. You can just have control. Let's just control this possession. You throw in Jorginho there, the opponent does not have a chance of getting the ball. You can just have, let's bully you even more. Let's throw in Partey, Merino, and Rice if you just feel like. And then you also have Odegaard there who can press. You can be like, this game is kind of done, or let's give Rice a rest. Let's play Merino and Partey. Let's play Merino and Jorginho. Whichever way you're going to go with it, it's super exciting, man. If we actually do end up getting Merino, I've always said I didn't want Merino to be a replacement for Partey. I don't think that is enough. But if Partey is staying and then Merino joins into the team, hopefully Partey doesn't get injured, because if Partey does get injured again, it basically means we're down to Jorginho, Merino, and Rice. Hopefully not. But if Partey is there and Merino is an addition to the team, and you have 4 midfielders you can actually go to, Jorginho, Rice, Partey, and Merino, 4 midfielders you can pick for whichever game. You can move them around. You can have different combinations between those four, depending on the opponents, depending on the situation of the game, whether you're leading, whether you're trailing. It's super exciting. So Mikel Merino is a player that we're looking likely. If we're going to get a midfield, it could be him. But Atletico Madrid are still in the picture, so you have to wait and see how Atletico Madrid approach this. Or does he want to go to Atletico Madrid, or does he want to move to us? So he's played in England before for Newcastle. We were told that he's going to make a decision this week. He wants to have clarity before the end of this week, or actually before the weekend. So hopefully we do get a decision very soon. And I think 30 million is a very good price. I think I would be very happy to get him for that price. I think I would be very happy to get him for that price as well. So Mikel Merino could end up being our next signing after Riccardo Calafiori. Let's see how that one goes. Let's talk about Smith Rowe. This is the latest on Emil Smith Rowe. That's according to Sky Sports. There's every expectation that Fulham will go back in with an improved offer for Smith Rowe. Obviously, he scored in our first preseason fixture over the weekend against Leyton Orient in our 2-0 win. And he's traveled with the rest of the team over to USA. So we received a bid from Fulham, I think of around £30 million, and also quickly rejected it. And you were told Crystal Palace were planning to make an offer of around 35 million. And they said Arsenal are still going to reject that one because that is nowhere close to where they're rating Smith Rowe or value Smith Rowe. So it means Arsenal looking for over 40 million for Emil Smith Rowe. Now, will those teams pay it? They could, maybe 35 million plus 5 million in euros. It's very difficult. It depends how much Arsenal want that money and how much Arsenal want to sell Smith Rowe. For me, Smith Rowe and Nketiah, I was looking at them as I want them to stay. If we get good money, well and good. But if we don't, if you're not paying us, 40 million, maybe 30 million for Nketiah, we don't have to sell them. We can keep them. But it depends. Do Arsenal really need that money to use it for elsewhere? If they sell Nketiah, could they use that money to get, a striker? If they sell Smith Rowe, could that money be used to get a winger? I don't know how they're going to approach it. But Emil Smith Rowe is currently now in the USA. You're going to see him playing against Bournemouth. Let's see how it goes. If it doesn't go, as we discussed in the podcast in the morning, if it doesn't go, this is a big preseason for him because Rice is not there. He could play in that number 8 position. Martinelli is not yet back. He can maybe be used on the left side. Odegaard is not going to play every single game. Maybe he can be used in that position as well in one of those games. I think Odegaard probably not play against Bournemouth and maybe play against United and Liverpool, or maybe play all three of them. Who knows? It's a big opportunity. So 2 things could happen in this preseason, or 2-3 things. If he does have a very good performance against Bournemouth and Man United, and he's looking very, very sharp, Arsenal can be like, you know what, maybe we can keep him. Or he can have such a good performance to the point where the other teams are like, oh, you have seen Smith Rowe in the last 3 preseason games. He's captained Arsenal over the weekend against Leyton Orient. He's played incredibly well against Bournemouth. He scored in both of those games. And then he went on and had 2 assists against Man United, played 60 minutes, looking fit, looking sharp. Actually, we are going to give you 45 million. That could also happen. So will Arsenal take it after that? If he improves his game and shows himself in this preseason? 2-3 things could happen in this one. You could also decide, what? We are going to wait until the end of the transfer window to see how this things develop. Let's wait and see if any other teams come in. So interesting, still very, very interesting. So that's the latest on Emil Smith Rowe. Finally, Nketiah. This is the latest on him. Marseille working on a loan deal for Nketiah that includes an obligation to buy. Marseille made an opening offer for the player last week to kickstart negotiations, but they are yet to find an agreement with Arsenal. So Marseille are working on a loan deal with an obligation to buy. Again, depends. Do Arsenal really, really need that money right now, or they're happy to receive that money next season? Same with I think Tavares is an obligation to buy next year. Lokonga is an option to buy next year. So if all of those teams end up buying those players plus Nketiah, then we receive a good amount next year. That is close to 50-60 million we'll receive next year. But it depends. Does Nketiah want to go there, or does he want to wait for a Fulham or a team like that to make a bid for him? Or does he want to move on to Marseille and he's happy to join there? And how much money will Arsenal be looking for from Marseille? Will we be looking for, that we be happy with the 30 million or the 35 million, or would it be like like a Smith Rowe situation? Sorry. A situation where you're like, okay, let's wait and see how they do in preseason. Let's gamble on them having a very good preseason, so that those other teams pay 20 million plus, 30 million plus on top of what they were supposed to pay or whatever. Let's wait and see. But Nketiah, Marseille really, really want him. I think out of these three players, Nelson is also wanted, but West Ham have now gone for Somerville, so it doesn't look like West Ham are going to go for Reece Nelson. So it's still the same teams that want these players. So Marseille, Crystal Palace, Fulham, Wolves, Leicester as well. Aston Villa's mentioned for Smith Rowe. So all these teams want these players, but need offers on the table. So you received an offer for Smith Rowe, rejected it. We're expecting more offers from Fulham and Crystal Palace. We received an offer from Nketiah. We haven't gotten an answer about it yet. We haven't even been told how much it was yet, but let's see how that one goes. But Nketiah as well has traveled to the USA with the rest of the team, so we could see both of them feature. Three of them actually together, Nelson. All three of them feature over on Thursday morning against Bournemouth. So that's the latest news. Medical booked for Riccardo Calafiori. Deal very, very close. Bologna and Basel and Roma are all close to agreeing a deal. Crazy. 4 teams involved. And then Merino could end up being the next signing. Let's hope he chooses Arsenal. I think it would be a big signing if you can get him for that 30 million euros. And departures, could Nketiah and Smith Rowe end up leaving this week, or could they have a big part to play in preseason and end up staying? If they do, they need a big preseason, but I think at least 2 of those Highland boys will end up leaving. But as of now, thank you for watching, and I'll catch up with you guys on the next one.